Let's talk about my hair. Okay, I know a lot of you have had any questions about how I style my hair, how I take care of it, and I wanted to show you how I take care of my hair before I style it. I only wash my hair once a week. I know that may not be, practical for many of you that may have oily scalp. For me, it works, but I grew up in a place, I grew up in India, where my mom made sure that every time it was time to wash my hair, we had oil in our hair. At least once a week we got, we call it jumpy or head oil massage. And over the years, I've used many different types of hair oil massages, but this one by Ura is the one that I've been using in the last few years. It's the Rukshadi Dry Hair and Scalp Nectar. This works really well. You don't have to put too much. And the other one I rotate because I don't like to just get reliable on one product all the time. This is the other one that I really like, is the Majesty Hair Serum by Ranavat. And the way I do it, and I'm going to show you the way I do it. Right now my hair is already oily because I knew I was going to wash today, so I oiled it yesterday. But I just basically take a little bit of oil, as you can see, and then I put it right here at the base of my hairline first. Then I put 4 fingers, then I go to the next spot, right? And then just like that, I keep going down the crown chakra and then keep going down. And then I just massage it. Now, yesterday I felt like my hair looked really dry, so I went crazy with my hair. Regular coconut oil works really well, but the Mighty Majesty has a really good fragrant mogra or jasmine smell, and I love that. And basically I put a towel on my pillow and I leave it overnight, the oil in my hair. It also is great when I have a headache to cool off my scalp or whatever, the heat that's oozing out of here. So sometimes I'll use divel or castor oil, but just in few spots. I don't put divel all over my hair because that would be really sticky, because castor oil is really sticky. So those are the oils that I use to massage my hair. And I'm going to show you the shampoos I use and the other products I use when I come back after shampooing my hair in a different avatar. So stay tuned. And I'm back. Shampoo's been done. The shampoo that I normally use is Living Proof Restore because I have colored hair. And as you can tell, it's going to be time to do that coloring thing again. And every other week, I'll use this conditioner that comes with it, the Living Proof Restore Conditioner. Or every other week, I'll use K18. This stuff is pretty amazing because when I use this, I don't have to condition my hair. I just shampoo, come out, take a little bit and feed it through my hair. Now, before I use the Dyson Airwrap, I have to wait till my hair is kind of dry. So I'll be right back once, do other things and be back. And we're back. So this is how gorgeous my hair looks without styling it. I mean, it's not bad. Sometimes I'll just tie it up in a bun and let it curl by itself. But those days where I do want to style it, and since I only do this once a week, this is how we do it. You are going to need, if you want to follow along, you need the Olaplex Bond Smoothie. I just take very little because I just put the K18, so you don't need a whole lot of it, but obviously you could hear me tapping it because sometimes it's really hard to get it out. And just a tad bit, like that much, right? And I like to do it like this when I use my fingers in between, because then I could just put my fingers through my hair and don't have to worry about. I start on the bottom because I don't like it getting heavy on top because then it flattens my hair and I want to have good volume. So that's pretty much it. I mean, that might be too much what I put on. You need really little, depending on your, the amount of hair you have. Then, the other thing I use, you don't really need it, but I like to, again, since I only style my hair once a week, I use the Living Proof's Flex Hairspray. It also works as heat protectant too. And you'll see I use the medium hold one because I don't want sticky hairspray stuff in my hair, and you'll see when I use it. You don't have to spray it down first thing. The way I do it, I part my hair, and the desi way to do it is just you follow your nose line, and that will get you to your middle part. Okay, because I like to part in the middle. You could part on the side too if you want. And again, the Dyson Airwrap comes with a bunch of tools. I know it's an expensive tool, it's an investment, but what I've learned is I've been using this for a year now, and it saves you cost on hair dryer, straightener, and curler. So it's all in one. For me, I like it a lot, and it saves me, time and money, and it looks great. So it comes with a bunch of attachments. These are the barrels that it comes with. This is the large size, which I use. There is medium. This is the small one. And then there's a medium one as well. But one of the things I didn't know in the beginning was this is the base. So you use this for hair dryers, straighteners, or the curlers. The trick is, and you hold it up by your face, and if the arrows are pointing in, this is the wrong side. So then I go to this side, the arrows are pointing out. So then this one is for my left side. Initially, when I first started using it, I was a little overwhelmed. I was like, oh, there's so many things to learn and I don't know how to do it. But so I wrote down L on top of my left one. But now I kind of know that the left side goes this way. So I'm going to use the large curlers, which is what I like. I part my hair in 3 sections. So first I'm going to do the very bottom section, and you could do it again depending on in Gujarati we say jatho, but the amount of hair you have, and you tie the rest up with a clip. I know there are lots of heatless curler things that you could do too, but this one's been working for me, so I do this. And then in the back, when you get there, I part straight in the middle in 2 parts and work with one side at a time. So since we're going to pick this one up, this one's going in, so wrong side, it's for the right side, and it's pretty easy. So you have a lock and unlock button right there, and you push this in and it locks itself. You don't have to do much. Settings, I like to keep mine on basically both of them all the way on top. This is the hottest, and this one is, the highest speed, and I like it like that. So then I'm going to go in the back, start in the back. Back works for me. You could pick any section of your hair. The smaller you do it, the better you'll be able to see the curls and how it works. So since I have all of these out here, now I'll take my heat protectant spray or hairspray, whatever you want to call it, from Living Proof, and I basically just spray it down slightly. I don't have to do a lot. And so now my curls, when I do them, they will stay. I mean, it's sometimes when I'm in a hurry and I don't have time to do small sections, I'll just go at it from, bigger section. But the way to do it is make sure your barrel's on the outside of your hair. First one, I wrap it around before I turn on the button, and then basically you hold it up against your scalp and just go in closer like that. So then don't touch this with your bare hands. I'm one of those people that has, no feelings on my hands, so I touch it. But basically you count 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000. You can count up to, 10, 1,000. But then this little button right here, you push it up to give it a cold shock. So the cold shock, what it does, it sets your curls. So you'll see in a second when I take this down. And cold shock, you can do it for 2 seconds and then release. And then you'll see that it curls. See? I'm going to go around. You could stick around for the whole thing, or you can come back and, forward the part you don't want to see. But, when somebody says, oh, I want to see your hair tutorial, the first thought I have is really? Because makeup and hair is something that I didn't think that I knew how to do for the longest time. I've come a long way to kind of be confident in a sense that I could actually share what works for me with you guys. And, again, if the heat setting is too much for your scalp, you could go down a notch. You could use a glove if you want, just to make sure you could feel it. I just like to make sure that, you know, just to give it a little spread on my hair. So, and then cold shocking it and then release. So you'll see, just release, you just pull it out. I know for now the curls look a little tight because I don't want it to seem like, you know, like you're going to a wedding kind of curls. And now we're gonna unlock this, hold it from top because it's gonna be hot. And it comes with a mat where you could put it down so it doesn't burn any of your surfaces. And you grab the other one, which I can't find mine. So, oh, I found it, it was right here. That happens sometimes. So now, how do I know this is the left one? You hold it against your cheek and make sure the arrows are going out. Again, I'm gonna start in the back. And same thing, if you pick up a strand of hair and make sure the barrel's on the outside, right? I just like to guide it by wrapping the first strand, and then you can just hold it, pull it against your face, just bring it closer, and it wraps the hair itself. You don't have to turn, twist, none of that. And you can wait, you could do Om Namah Shivaya, or you could do 1, 1000, 2, 1000, 3, 1000. You could play music, whatever works for you, and then cold shock it for 1, 1000, 2, 1000, 3, 1000, 4, 1000, 5, 1000. I touch the barrel with my bare hand. Make sure you don't do that, right? And then release, and you'll see the one that came out. It's pretty good. Because I'm not going to an event or I'm not worried about it being perfect, it's for my day-to-day thing. So I don't really pay attention to the details, meaning that, you know, like one part is not done right. Now, I'll just bring it closer like that, and it just wraps the hair for me. Now, one of the reasons they say to wait till your hair is not super wet is because you want your scalp to dry out and you don't want too much heat by your scalp. So I try to keep it away from my scalp as much and make sure my scalp is dry before I start doing this. So, you know, cold shocking it again, and then we release. And you can see it, right? That this is how it's going to be. And sometimes what happens is I'll do it and then I'll forget, oh gosh, you know, I forgot a strand. So I jump back in, you know, no big deal. There's no like, oh my God, I messed up kind of thing. Because it's your hair, you could go back, and this tool is very forgiving. It doesn't have like these tight curls that it would be really hard to straighten out or any of that stuff. If you notice, I forgot something on this side. And I'll tell you in a second after I cold shock this, is you want to guess what I forgot on this side? And it's not because, you know, I didn't put it in the film. I actually did forget it. And it's okay if you forget the step. You could come back and fix it as well. And I'll tell you what I forgot on this side is this guy. I forgot my hairspray, so I'm just going to bring it out. It's half of my hair. Now I'm going to do the other half. So like I said, I do it in 3 parts, but you could do it in whichever way it works for you. I know that a few of you have had questions about my color as well, and I'll tell you, I have been seeing Luz Malcara at Capelli on Front. If you live in the San Diego area, this girl, my friend, is a magician. She makes my hair look so good. I love her. And she's so much fun. You know how when you're talking to your hairdresser, sometimes you feel like, oh, I don't know if I can carry a conversation, all that good stuff. Luz makes you feel so comfortable. I'll link her information in the description below, so you could reach out to her if you wanted to. Again, check which side the arrow is pointing out. And this time I'm going to remember to protect my hair from the heat and make sure that my curls hold. So here we go, my friends, starting from the back. And again, like I said, the skinnier or the less hair you take, the better this turns out. Now, one of the tricks Luz has taught me is when we get to the top layer, and you could do this here too, is If you want to make sure that your ends don't look this rough, then when you wrap it around, you want to pull on it. So instead of just holding it here, I go like this back and forth. That makes the tension be tighter in the hair. Or I'll just manually wrap the curls so that it's tighter. And this makes it smoother than just, allowing the tool to pull your hair. One of the things my mom used to tell us when they were younger, back in the day, they didn't have shampoos and things like that. They actually wash their hair. You're not going to believe this. But when they have these deep ponds, like big ponds in small villages, they would actually take the black dirt that's on the bottom of the pond. In Gujarati, we say kadi mati, that's on the bottom of a tada or a little lake or pond, and mix that with buttermilk, chash, and they would actually shampoo their hair with that. But then again, the dirt or the mati is so mineral rich that I believe that it was probably really good. Because if you notice, a lot of our grandparents and parents, their hair quality is just amazing. And they regularly oiled their hair. I mean, they weren't worried about showing up in public with oiled up hair like we are. Actually, I'm not. The inner Kamrana seen me goes to pick up my kids, or used to go pick up my kids with oiled up hair, because that's just who I am. That's just how I, did things around the house. So, yeah, I don't know if you would ever wash your hair with, dirt, meaning the mitti or, mineral-rich soil, but that's how people did it back in the day. I know that I'm taking smaller sections just so that you could see it. See, now I'm pulling this end right here to make sure that it doesn't get rough at the end. And one of the other things I'm going to mention to you when this little bit of noise calms down is how to clean the filter in here, because a lot of people forget that this tool has a filter that has to be cleaned up, because on the bottom of your barrel, which you'll see when I point it out to you, I'm not going to open it to clean it, but you should know that it's something that this part comes off. And you'll gather a lot of dirt and stuff from, from using it over a period of time. Honestly, if you guys told me that I would be creating a hair tutorial video, that too about curling my hair, like 5 years ago, I would have been like, what are you talking about? I never curled my hair using the regular curling irons because I didn't know how. It was just always so complicated. It either came out, really rough and fuzzy, or the curls were uneven. Either they were too tight, it just, to me, it felt like it was so much work. This to me feels like if I do this once a week and I can get away with it for the rest of the week, I'm okay with it. I don't mind putting in this time. And right now it's taking me longer because obviously I'm filming this, right? But if I'm doing it by myself, it takes me, I'll be honest, it's not like, super fast, but it takes me about 15 to 20 minutes. But 15 to 20 minutes once a week is so worth it. So now you can see all of this. Look at these curls, I'm loving it. They're all done. And then we're going to proceed to the right side. Be patient with yourself when you're first starting out. You will make locha, meaning mistake. And you know what? That's how we learn. Like makeup too, when somebody says, do a makeup tutorial, I was like, whoa. For the longest time, I've been married 23 years. My sister-in-law is amazing at makeup, taught me everything I know. And every time I would try to put on my own makeup, it always felt like, oh gosh, I'm doing this wrong. And she would be like, just practice, with my eyes especially. Didn't have the patience to practice, figured out the simplest way that works for me, and that's what I do now. And all of a sudden, that's what everybody wants to see. So do what works for you. and what makes you feel good when you do it. So this curling thing, I know for many of you, you feel like, well, I could do the same thing with the curling iron. Please continue doing that if that's working for you. I tried the curling thing and it didn't work for me for years. And this is, I like it. No, it works for me. So I'm going to finish this side off and I'll come back and then we'll finish the big part, the last part. And here we are. 2 sections are done. And you can see. And now we're going to do the last one. Now, you could part it the way it works for you. You don't have to follow this. This is just what works for me. And since I just did the right side, and since the right barrel's plugged in, we'll do the right side first. I like to push back the ones that are already done in the back, the hair, and keep the ones that I'm working on in the front. As you know, we wrap it. This one is a final layer, so I'm going to be pulling a lot, just so that I can get a smoother finish. Now, I know that heat is very damaging for our hair, and that's why I use all these products, especially this one that it's a hairspray and a heat protectant at the same time, which makes me happy. And when we oil and moisturize, I mean, ultimately, the goal, eventually, when I'm ready, I'll be going gray, but just not ready yet. So till then, we'll be doing all of this fun things. You know, I don't know, going to weddings and getting your hair done. Oh my God, especially if you're at a wedding in India. They've come a long way, don't get me wrong. There are some fantastic hairstylists in India too. The makeup artists too, there are some really good ones. And there are some that haven't caught up with the styles and fashion. So my not the last one, but a couple of weddings ago when I went to India, you know, I mean, who doesn't want to get dolled up by an artist, you know, by a professional? So they asked me that, oh, should we put your name down to get your hair done? And I was like, okay, sure, you know. And normally when lessons learned, because what I did was I said, you know, I didn't go in with the sample of a hairstyle I wanted. I just said I wanted to updo because I'm wearing a sari. And I mean, what I got was a little, you know, one of those 70s buffet things, those little cone in here or sock in here with a big old bun. And man, the curls were so tight and so much hairspray and so much bobby pins. I mean, my head was hurting. So midway through the events, I actually went into the bathroom and took it all out and just stayed with, you know, my hair in a ponytail, which is totally fine because I was comfortable. And a lot of times it's more about being comfortable than looking stylish, you know. Now, if you notice, sometimes like the hair that have been done, they'll get pulled up too, and that's okay. It's not that, you know, we're not here for perfection, guys. We just do. Let's see, right now it's getting pulled up. I'll try to prevent it, but sometimes it's hard to do it. And I'll just let it go. Now, this is my last big chunk of hair right here, right? So you could part it in 2 parts or just do it in 1 big part. It's entirely up to you. We're going to try it in 1 big part. I'm going to pull, because these are my bangs, and I don't want them to be too tight, so I'm not going to go all the way up to my scalp. So I'm going to just stay right there. And then cold shock it. Don't forget that cold shock is important to keep your hair, you know, styled longer. And release. And so that's, I know, right now you're like, whoa, I don't want my hair to look like that, and neither do I. But once we put our fingers through it and pull out the curls, then you'll see that that's just one side, and that's just the way it works for me. We still have this side to finish, so this shouldn't take that long because it's just the top layer. And normally what I do when I'm doing my hair is I keep the top layer, very few hair for the top layer, because it allows me to do it in smaller section too, and more fine tune it. So, you know, right now all you see is the boot, the ghost, you know, but you'll see the final product. We're almost there, so stay with me. Again, I plugged in the left one. The barrel goes on the outside of the hair. And then we'll just pull. There you go. And, oh yeah, I gotta tell you guys a scary story. When I was really young, my mom's sisters lived, well, one of my mom's relatives lived in the US and they'll come visit. And I was really young. I want to say maybe 6 or 7. And one time they brought this life-size doll. And my massies thought it was pretty funny to pull a prank on a 6-year-old. And they dressed up the doll in a sari. So the doll was practically as big as I was at that time. And back then, the bathrooms, the outhouses, or the bathroom you want to call it, they, up top, it was open. So, and I'm not talking about a toilet, I'm talking about like a shower. So I was about to go in to take a shower, and what I see is this doll with her hair in front, just like if I colored my hair up front, dressed inside and dropped from the ceiling. I'm telling you, I was traumatized. I was crying, and of course my massies all got in trouble because my dada really got mad at all of them. But yeah, you know, family, we do those things, and it's gonna stay with me for a lifetime. Traumatized. And we're almost there. What are some crazy things you've done with your hair, or you've been traumatized by? You know, not talking about the getting your hair done in India, because that experience alone for many people is traumatized. But you know, do your research. Not all artists in India are bad. There are some really good ones. They're up to date. They know how to protect your hair. They will take good care of it. You know, they style it the way you would want them to too as well. So, you know, check in. And here we go, you guys. Are you ready for this? This is the last piece. Again, since it is the last piece, it may pull up the other one that was there before and that's okay, like it just did. That's okay. Okay. And I'm cold shocking it. It's going to look a little tight because I'm going all the way to the scalp. So it's going to look like that. Again, I forgot to put the hairspray on the top layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my fingers through both sides and pull it the way I like it. There it is. So, you know, I have to look in the mirror because I can't just keep looking over here. All right. So there it is. So you can see how it looks. And now I can go in. And I don't have to put a lot. But there it is. This is my hair. Now, we're not done. The last step we do is we take the Olaplex bonding oil to make it look nice and smooth and shiny. And this kind of pulls out the curls too, if there were tight curls. And if you're still wanting more shine, as some days I do, then you get the Living Proofs Instant Defreezer. This actually works on dry hair too, on those days when you're having a bad hair day. And you could just go in, probably it's locked, there it is. And, nope, I just locked it. And you could put it, and there you have it, friends. This is my hair tutorial. Of course, I rushed it, so if you do it properly and take your time, then you'll see that this Dyson hair tool works really well. If you like this video, I forgot to tell you that if you like this video, be sure to comment below, like and subscribe to our channel, and let me know what kind of other things, helpful things I can share with you, so I know what type of videos to create. Thank you.